Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are going to be taking a look at the weekly metagame breakdown for Timeless Best of One. Haven't touched Timeless in a couple weeks. Format was not too mashed up, but we'll take a look and see what kind of the trend is in the Best of One meta. Tends to be a little bit more all in, given the fact you are Best of One. There's some broken things you can do here. The big notable thing for Timeless is we are getting an injection of very powerful lands. Strip Mine, Ancient Tomb, amongst other lands are coming as part of the special guests. We're getting Green Sun Zenith, which is another card that could potentially lead to some new decks, and seeing in that avenue there. Still no Force of Negation. Maybe one day we'll get Force of Negation, but not today. So we will take a look from Untapped GG. We're going to get the stats from there. I'll link all these deck lists in the video description. The meta is not really showing too much in terms of popularity beyond Oops All Spells. If we kind of shake it down, we got Show and Tell as well. That just populated right now. Go down to Platinum. We have Show and Tell, Oops. We have, like how it says, Ups All Spells. We have the various energy decks, Rakdos Steel Cutter, some Frog decks, and Mono Black Control. But we're going to look down into Mythic rank at this point here. We do see quite a, 1.60% play rate for Oops All Spells. Just everybody's just on Oops right now. Legacy, Timeless, it's just everybody's Oopsing. But we'll take a look. At the end, there's going to be a deck. I've never seen a win rate this low for a deck. There's a 4% win rate deck that we're going to take a look at the end, just for humor's sake. But we're looking at 3,400 games played in the last week. This is actually one of the lower games played count. If we look, Alchemy's got twice as many at 77. We have Pioneer coming in at 85. So it is relatively low comparative to the other formats, which is partly, I think most people who play Timeless are playing best of 3, just given the nature of some of these decks. Best of 1 tends to be more like two ships sailing in the wind, trying to combo each other out faster. But highest win rate deck of the week is Esper Frog at 77%. This deck is mainly base blue. We are splashing in terms of Psychic Frog in here, just a very powerful threat. And then you have some white for Fragment Reality and Swords to Plowshare. Another update. So within the Commander set that was introduced to Arena for Final Fantasy, Swords to Plowshare got a downgrade, Counterspell got a downgrade, Bolt got a downgrade. There's a couple other cards, I believe. So always worth checking with some of these staples. You can now craft them for only an uncommon. So this does help in terms of the playability. Some of us early adopters had to spend rare wild cards on things like swords, which was kind of a pain. You have Shield back in here, which is kind of an innocuous creature. It blocks early against the Mardu Energy decks, and then it's free fodder to Flare of Denial for a free counterspell that then also replaces itself in terms of card draw. You have a bunch of cheap disruption, Spell Pierce, Spell Snare, Tameo, very easy to flip in this deck with Brainstorm. Subtlety is another card that's got a bunch of blue stuff to pitch, just another kind of quote-unquote free spell to help kind of tempo against some of the combo decks in the format. Treasure Cruise refills your hand. Lauren can help you hit line drops. And then it's another way to break the Brainstorm lock in there. Mystic Sanctuary can rebuy you some of your spells as well. Show and Tell, 77%. So this deck here is going to be combo deck. So Show and Tell, ideally put into play Omniscience, go to town. You win through Mastermind acquisitioning, approach the second sun, kind of go from there. This version's just pretty much got the stock best of 3 sideboard with just approach being the key card there, which you're going to basically be approaching for. The deck's got Chrome Mox to accelerate you, protect yourself with Veil of Summer. You got some counters in here. A card that's being picked up, Rakshasha's Bargain. 3 mana, kind of instant speed, pseudo stock up style effect. That just helps you dig for the combo. You have Hallbreaker in here. The nice thing with Waterlogged Teachings, it can tutor Hallbreaker if you want. We have Omnio, you just keep bouncing spells. Atraxa refills your hand. We got some cool new art for Dig Through Time. I think this is the first time Dig Through Time's got an alternate art to it, but really like that art on it. So that is the deck here. There's also Mistrais Village to make your show and tell uncounterable. We have Mardu Energy, so 77%. Lurrus Companion. Kind of the difference between this and the Boros, you get access to Thoughtseize, so against the combo deck, stuff like that, you have some cheap disruption, along with Juggernaut Peddler. Against anything like Brainstorm style decks, you have Orcish Bowmaster as well, and then Cthulhian Nightmare lets you rebuy some of your effects. Static Prison is a nice one to put into play off Show and Tell, because it could both deal with Omniscience or Atraxa. Then you have the Discharge as just catch-all removal, your Johnny Bombardment kind of package in here. We then have Ups All Spells. So no lands, but lands. So similar to like Belcher piles, you are playing the MDFCs that will allow you to have lands, but enable Balderstrade Spy, which will mill you over your entire library. In the process of doing so, you'll get Creeping Chills that get back Silver Smoke Ghouls. You will shuffle Progenitus back in to give you an additional draw step effectively. You have Reanimate in here, which also got new art. If you don't like the breaking news art, that can bring back like Atraxa. You could basically bring back Thassa's Oracle and then win that turn, since you have basically just the one card in your library. Turn the Earth also lets you shuffle stuff back. Jack-o'-lantern can produce mana and kind of color fix you out of your graveyard as well if needed. Lively Dirge helps you set up the combo. Demonic Tutor, Ritual, Chrome Mox, Fast Mana, all in there. Looking at this deck, it's 12 lands that I see. So 12 lands and a Dream. You have like the Grief, Reanimate packages as well, which is strong. Creation of Atraxa. Basically lets you tutor for the combo on curve as well, which plays out pretty nice. Someone's living the dream. Mono Black Devotion, 70%. So kind of the early days of Timeless. These Necro piles were quite popular. We had Necro Storm, then we had just kind of the Devotion variants with Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Simpler times. But you have the 7 Necro effects with Ritual. Turn 1 refills your hand. You could pitch extra cards to March of Wretched Sorrows. Phyrexian Obliterator, reasonable against the energy piles, pretty useless against all the combo decks. So it's either going to be great or useless kind of in the matches. Grief for hand hate, you have Reanimate to bring stuff back. Probably better off playing Shieldred over the Phyrexian Obliterator. Just more reasonable threat, all things considered, and then just some removal to kind of keep you alive in that regard. We go to Boros Energy. So with the Boros deck, again, similar concepts. You have like Static Prison, you have your various early aggressive creatures. Since you're not playing black for Thoughtseize, you have access to Lightning Bolt, so it's a little bit more aggressively slanted. See the extra Bombardment, and then you have Unstable Amulet as kind of your draw engine in the deck. Still Lurrus Companion mixed into there. We go to Rakdos Steelcutter, so kind of a... It's funny how this is like a fair deck, but it's an Arcanist deck, 65%. So you are leveraging Corey Steelcutter here, just play 2 spells, get monks, kind of go to town there. With this deck here, you are playing Swiftspear's Teachings. So an alchemy card, it's basically a red cantrip that gives your next creature you cast haste and prowess. So it makes your Dreadhorde Arcanist attack right away, and it can flash it back, which is strong. You have a bunch of cheap artifacts to trigger the Steelcutter, Tormod's Crypt, Mishra's Bauble. You have access to Unholy Heat as a scalable removal spell, Thoughtseize for hand hate in here. And then FOMO kind of plays into the extra combat step. A lot of ways to enable Delirium with DRC as well. You have Inquisition, Duress, and 4 Thoughtseize for hand hate. And then Amped Raptor can also work nicely when you have Steelcutter out, because it can hit those 2 spells per turn. We have Golgari Belcher. So in this deck here, base Golgari, but you'll see other colors in here. Leyline protects you from the combo, and it's also fodder for Beseech the Mirror. Basically what you're trying to do is just generate enough mana. You could potentially win on turn 1 with this deck through Chrome Moxes, Channel, and then Belcher out. You can also like Beseech for Iron Crag, that gives you enough mana for the Goblin Charbelcher as well. Similar to Oops All Spells, you're not playing lands by playing MDFCs, and then you have just like protection effects, stuff like that. It's just basically finding the combo, generating extra mana, and comboing out that way there. Now, for the reveal, the 4% win rate deck. Rakdos Burn. 25 games, meaning they won 1 out of 25 games with Rakdos Burn. This deck wasn't terrible at some point in time early on. Like, I remember playing Burn in the format, but just to see that low of a win rate, it really is something outstanding. But yeah, don't play Rakdos Burn in Best of One, I think is the message. In any case, I will be back once the new set comes out. We'll see how these new lines are impacting the format, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.